Yes. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for putting all the inside parts in, which he's adding all sorts of extra things from the orchestration, which are not usually possible. But you have free hands. It seems to be fine. I mean, it's absolutely it's fantastic to watch. I want to talk a little bit, and I'll make you think about the nature of rubato in it. I think that's the starting point, because if you catch your breath, he seems completely calm. Obviously, you were able to stretch in ways, the tempo, in ways which would be very difficult, if not impossible, for an orchestra. And it's, I would say, a mixed blessing, because we have to be on this ride, this fairground ride, what it is, this roller coaster, dips, and suddenly, of course, the whole thing is about instability in this sense. But if we are, it has to be something which bends, is elastic. If it's too far, it sort of breaks sometimes. Mm-hmm. And what the effect is, we are spectators more than actually participants. It's a little different. You're watching the ride rather than in the ride. For me, and actually, I think it's where you put these great swells and these in the tempo, the big waves, where in the piece. For example, there was one section which it was so slow to me that I think we slightly lost. Where was it? Yes, I mean, actually, this part was very beautiful. The very last time it happens, where in the orchestra you would have the. It was much slower than it's usually played, but that's the very last time before this the thing takes off again. But this was much slower than usual. This part, excuse me. You played it as a slow waltz. You really played it as a slow waltz. And I wondered what happened then is when by the time we get to this, I'm actually slightly kind of, I've left the dance floor and I'm sitting, I've stopped dancing, because I think it was too much slow. Mm-hmm. It just seemed the elastic went, actually it was no longer pulling back in the other direction. And also, you had, for the great, this un peu plus vif en accélérant, what you had was a big rotundando. And we were very, very fast already, but I didn't hear it go. This amazing danger that it has. Whatever, but then you really can then have an accelerando, which you can't if you start so far. So let's think at the beginning. Now, what is the most important thing in a dance, in a waltz? It has been, and I find it much more dangerous if you have it. I mean, yes, you have this. Of course, you have this mystery, but we see something. You see the whole thing. Vienna. Yeah. From there, so I felt what I heard from here, very difficult in that period, was a, and then it was more, and then. It was very rubato from the start, but I'd love you to experiment with some. Do you know what I mean? I mean, then within that, but it must have for the elastic to work. It's got to be back right to something which is central. That's what the whole piece is playing with. That it pulls it right to the last point, and then bam at the end. So why don't we start again? Can you? I mean, the very opening, it should be literally you turn on it. Can you even think of it as one solid thing, like. I'm not sure. What? I'm not sure. Even. There's no pedal there at all. I mean, you don't have to pedal through. This is me. And then you've got to feel the open string of the bass, the open E. Yeah. I want, and you know what they play is, the basses play, bum 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 bum. So there's this. I don't want the third F so much. You know, you never conduct the upbeat in a waltz. Yeah. You know that. Bumper, 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 yeah, bumper, bumper, bumper. Yeah, see. Yeah, good. And so, these are not the same. These two notes. And then more. So I think this is too loud. Yeah. Yes. And can we hear this very dangerous modulation instead of So now, whenever you take time over the whole piece, I want to feel that we're not stopping the conversation. It's one of the things this piece is about for me is the interplay between sections of a waltz. The Strauss waltz has many sections, and but they don't stop. They sort of interleave into each other in this inevitable way. So when you have you take a little time. You took a lot of time before. You see, we have to feel that it's some piece of elastic, which is, it never goes beyond a certain point. You know, we all have, whenever you take the time, you've got to feel it pulling back in the other direction immediately. So even if we have, where was it? It comes this bar. The resolution comes up from underneath here. Because otherwise it becomes a little too many gaps between the sentences. So in a way, it's one long sentence. Go from da-dum, here. Yes, but where does it go? Where does it go? You let's just feel that the. Ta-da. Yes, could that be? Yes. Now, so what I heard this time was more. That was quite Germanic sounding. This. Yeah, this. Don't start so much on that note. Just. And then, now I would. I love to hear these. To hear the eights would be so dangerous. This is a little too solid. Yeah. Can the A major be a little less real? Yes. Yeah. If you could try to feel that this is you're taking the lady's hand. It's not too much like that, but you should. Oh. And that's very good. It's much clearer now, and it was so nice to be aware of the in two underneath. Watch out! This note is. You know. It should be more. There's more of a. If the two is very clear underneath. Now I'm feeling much more of a sense of pulse now. It's clearer. Why don't we go on from? Yeah. Now there's a humour to it suddenly, of course, as well, because in all this murk, it's as though there is really a waltz, and he plays a game with there being a real, actual waltz in 1870 or whatever it is. So I would question this. I'm not sure that this is a good idea. I think here the mists should clear, just in terms of the rubato. Yeah, so. Good. So don't be afraid to actually lift, really to lift. Why not? And in tempo. I'm playing all sorts of wrong notes, but it should have a sort of feeling of this inevitable. We have to take us with this one in the bar a little bit more. Now, I wonder if we're on the roller coaster, if we have a big dip, we have this coming up, but if we then have one just before it as well, that one's a bit not quite so, you see? So, excuse me, you do this, but I think, you see, do you see what I mean? Go a little before somewhere. Come on, up. That's better, because before you had a big rotodendo. This is much better, because you're getting more of a feeling of the... good. This was very nice. Just play from maybe from... You have a wrong note. Yes. And can you do a little more for the... Yes, good. So when you go through the piece, it's really a long-term thing, but it's moving between these things which are very decaying and decadent. You see, you have this expression in English. We say butter wouldn't melt in your mouth, so it means you can suddenly be very cool at any moment. So that would be one of these. And even later on, you know, when you have, right in the middle of almost chaos, you remember who plays this in the trumpet, so it's... It's fun in this to move between things which are not concrete, they're not tangible, like in the part we were just playing, this sort of thing. I said, but it turns into, see, not concrete, solidify, like something liquid that becomes then jelly, you know. So not, so, good. You're playing so many notes here. We have to, if you can try to get the offbeat. I don't know how. Can you play the... Yeah. Yes, you can even have four hands. You can even have... Yes, I'll leave it with you, but I think you've gone so far with that part to have all these notes in, but it would be great to have even those ones as well. This a little bit more... Don't be afraid to have things which are very crisp in the piece. You know. Okay, this was the part that I really think it's going to be too slow in the context. I mean, you can take... I mean, otherwise it's not a slow waltz. It's not valse long. It's in one. And you can all sorts of, I mean, yes. What's your thumb? Your thumb can be much looser, because otherwise we hear this as a repetition like bolero, but in fact it's three different things, you know. This one, which is the same, is actually different each time, not the same. But you have that other without that. The third beat is never solid. The third beat is always just a piece of almost spider's web or something. It's not real. Third beat is in the air, you know. And then that's lovely. Now, if you do this, I would then reverse. So the first beat is then not solid. Right? If you have you have this, I would bring it up like that rather than that. Hear the way that you want this sense of danger going into the F major. You took a long time there, which is good, but I wanted to what happened was a little bit like a little bit heavy, you know. So it's not taking the time that's the problem. You've got to keep this thing swinging, this chandelier. I find that that's a little bit automatic. And this one. And can we not have a staccato? And what? What? There, a staccato. It's what? Huh? Over four bars. 2, 3, 4. Good. So Ariel. So when you reach your point in the middle of the, you had quite a big thing there, but still don't arrive in a sort of final way here. It should be a kind of a swelling in the middle of the phrase, but it's never boom. Yeah. It always has to stay and come back. Why don't we go from here? Okay, so when you play that whole section, those 8 or 16 bars, really remember that we have to keep the thing tight, the elastic tight, because it's very, very loose at the moment. I want to feel it pulling back. You're very good at pulling it that way, but I'm not feeling it going back the other direction. You see, I mean it. So this is a very different music from the one that's following. At the moment, they were almost like the same thing. I don't think it's a slow waltz, that part. I think that's the one place I'd really argue with the way that you played it. Good, and this was very exciting. Careful, this should stay clear. And we should always hear that the important thing is this. Very dangerous, yeah. You tended more to be in time this time round, which I think is effective. But then be careful here. And there's no crescendo here. No crescendo. It just. Yeah. Good. This was clear. Now, let's look at the coda. So, would you like to go into it from someone like that? Wherever's comfortable. Better. Yeah. Now, I just need. You're playing so many more notes than this, but we really need to hear this. That's where the trouble starts. There. Yeah. You're playing. You see the difference? Yes. Not this. It's so fast that I want to, I think it feels a little too. Again, I feel I'm watching the machine out of control. I'm not in a machine which the brakes have failed in the middle of the roller coaster. This is what it. Yeah, it's also very good. That's right. But you've got to hear this from this. But each bar, it's not. Hear the harmony. The trouble, we have two places at the moment where you make a big, you press the emergency brake, and it would be so nice not to have to do that. I think the problem is you're so fast, really, from the word go, that to make this apparently change of key, excuse me, you stop here. Now, it's possible to do something. But there's not really a change. I mean, unfortunately, the brakes are still failed. It may just go like that for a moment, but we... and again, here... was it here? Yeah. I would really rethink how fast you are here. I really would, because... There's many ways to think of the accelerando, but there has to be an accelerando. You don't have to think every beat is slightly faster than the one before, but we can just feel the increasing fear. It's more like an accelerando in one of those things that goes up in the fairground. So you're getting further and further from the ground. So the brakes downwards have failed. You go up. So, but I think I feel we're already outside the vehicle at this point when it begins. So I would just rethink the pacing of this section, if I were you. Well, you've got to bring us with you, and then that's very exciting. Yeah. Now, also when you get to this, the return of this music, why don't we play somewhere like? Possibly. I still want to feel a bit more of a stamp of the dancer's feet at this point. That's this is loud. This that has to be loud. Boom, boom. I would. Why don't we? Why can't we? We have to feel the upside down. You can take your time. I don't feel this is it's just it's in the gesture, but it's all going wrong, obviously, and the idea that you never have a strong upbeat in the waltz is being reversed. So it's backwards, you see. So. So now we've got two things. This is a rhythmic thing. So we have that idea. So and the first beat then has to me. Yeah. So make two things. Yeah. Maybe that I feel that's too what I'd call anecdotal. Like it's like saying and then we go back. It's a shock. This is a shock. This is a shock. Somebody who walks in and says it's gone too far, but you can't announce it. Yeah. But then they don't listen. Yeah, maybe I would. Can you try doing something just as an experiment? Do nothing. Or whatever. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. One too many bars here. Yeah. Two. I think. Oh, maybe it's different in this version than the orchestra version. Oh, I see. Different. I never noticed that before. Yes, good. So I also wonder about the ritardando here before this wonderful final. I think to play it like this is what you do. I know why you do it, why you feel you need to do it, but there's another way to it without breaking the momentum of the waltz. Jump. It's in the hemiola. Jump, 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 bum, bum. I'm trying to remember. There's a great moment in one of the Strauss waltzes with a big hemiola in it, and I'll think of it as soon as we stop talking. It's in that one. There's one of these things which are. You can find the rubato. Jump, jump, jump. No. It's a yup, yup, bum, bum. And can we really? So you keep. I don't hear the final staccato. Imagine you're playing. Can you play? Okay, good. Thank you very much for bringing it. But just stop before we all go mad. So I think you can even put in some more of those notes in here. Have a think about it. But brilliant, wonderful, thank you.